All right, let's talk Pittsburgh Steelers. It's been one heck of an exciting offseason for Pittsburgh as we're working our way through training camp. And we've got exciting news on a key position for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A former Steelers come out and said some incredible things. Good news for Pittsburgh. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, so the big news, of course, involving the Pittsburgh Steelers this entire offseason and now has moved into training camp full steam, full bore is the quarterback position. Obviously, moving off of Kenny Pickett, bringing in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Russell Wilson, by all accounts, going into training camp was seen the overwhelming favorite to be QB1 come regular season time. Russell Wilson has a few injuries, some concerns. Mike Florio over at Pro Football Talk has said maybe this could be career threatening, potentially enter Justin Fields to be the starter. And he's done some good things in training camp so far. And we've seen, like I alluded to in the opening, some former Steelers, some punditry chiming in from the outside saying, listen, Justin Fields is the guy. Let's go into this report and then we'll talk about it on the other side. This is courtesy of Sporting News. Former Steelers defensive back Ryan Clark is among those in the media who thinks Fields is the better option, quarterback, obviously. In fact, Clark shared on SportsCenter his belief that the young signal caller can lead Pittsburgh to the playoffs in 2024. Justin Fields is going to lead the Pittsburgh Steelers to the playoffs. That's right, Clark exclaimed. That means first he has to become the starter, which he is. Then, which he will be, is what Clark's saying. Then when he becomes a starter, he has to get to the playoffs, which he will. Mike T always fields a competent, competitive team, and now you're going to have a dynamic player at quarterback. Now, look, this isn't just another ESPN talking head chiming things off. This is Ryan Clark, by all accounts, a very smart guy. Bill Belichick himself is working with Ryan Clark this offseason on media production. And don't discount the fact that Ryan Clark was on the last Pittsburgh Steelers team to win a Super Bowl. Clark's a smart dude, been around the world for a long time, the NFL world for a long time. His opinions and insights really matter. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Steelers fans, in the comment section below, what do you think, or who do you think, I'll say it like this, should be the Steelers quarterback come regular season time? Should it be Russell Wilson? Should it be Justin Fields? Really interested, really curious what you guys have to see. Take it almost like a voting opportunity in the comment section below, who you want to be the Steelers QB1 this upcoming season. Really curious what you guys have to say. And while you're down there in the comment section below, make sure you check out our description box for our affiliate link for our recommended book to get you ready for this upcoming NFL season. It is Playmakers by Mike Florio. Whether you like Mike Florio or hate him, I know he's kind of a polarizing figure. This book is absolutely outstanding. And I'm not just saying that because we bought it, right? It's a great read, a lot of good insights to the National Football League. Make sure you purchase it if you're interested in learning more about the game, which I'm sure you are. And if you do purchase it, please use our affiliate link. You'll see it in the description box below. Takes you right to Amazon, doesn't cost you anything, but helps us out. But anyway, Miles, I'll throw it over to you now. What are your thoughts on this latest Steelers news?
Yeah, I think this is really interesting news. Obviously, the injury to Russell Wilson is the defining factor here. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be talking about this as an option. But nonetheless, Russell Wilson getting older, he's getting an injury. No one really knows the severity of the injury. It's kind of been a little bit under wraps for the lack of a better word. But Justin Fields comes in and he's starting to do some good things. And I think that's really good because personally, I think Justin Fields have been given a bad rap the last couple of years. He's come into a bad situation on a Bears team that is now good, but the beginnings of that Bears team, I don't think it was very fair to a guy like Justin Fields. He comes into the organization, they don't have a whole lot of weapons. They don't have a good system that they're running that is complementary of him. From the get-go, he was really kind of set behind the gun. Then he changes to a new system, so now he's in another new system. And I think that's really kind of the factor here. He's never gotten a chance to get his feet underneath him and really learn one system, execute it at a high level, and move on to the next year in a similar manner. He's always having to restart every single year. But now you see Arthur Smith come in as well later on in this article. He's talking about, changing languages on the guys, a young player. He's been in a couple systems that can be confusing, but now we're getting through this stuff. He's seen him operate the offense at the way that Arthur Smith wants him to. He says he's really excited. He's done a fantastic job. He really likes what he brings to the table as far as running this Arthur Smith new offensive system. So I think Justin Fields is very intriguing. We know that he is a dynamic player. He was one of the leading rushers of quarterbacks this a couple seasons ago. This guy was super dynamic, but really close to breaking the quarterback rushing record. Like just mere yards away of doing just that. He can throw some balls. He drops some dimes at times. There's some questionable decisions there, but I think you can clean that up if you have a system that benefits him. So now that he's coming in, taking control of this opportunity, I think Steelers fans should be a little bit excited because Russell Wilson, you think he's older. There's not really a ton of dynamicism on the table. I think you see him. This is a guy that's a competent player. He's been there. He's been in the big moments. And that's what you get with a guy like Russell Wilson. You feel good about that. But with Fields, there's that unknown factor that he brings on the field, a little bit of excitement when he's behind the ball. I think that's a great feeling to have. And I think the Steelers could really benefit from a guy like Fields leading this team.
You bring up an outstanding point. I think it's really important to recognize. Look, we know the Steelers' offense over the past couple seasons. When you think of words to describe it, energy, excitement, entertaining, those aren't words that come to mind. They've been dull, lackluster, disappointing, whatever, all kind of negative superlatives you want to use. That's been describing the Steelers' offense. And while Russell Wilson, at this point in his career, is very steady, he can still throw a beautiful deep ball. He can still make a few of those scramble plays that he's made throughout his career. He is not nearly as exciting and dynamic. Never really truly was with Seattle. That's never been his MO. Justin Fields is. He's an energy guy. He's an exciting guy. He's a playmaker at the quarterback position. And I think that does give the Steelers a little bit of boost, a little bit of shot in the arm to get them back to maybe doing some things better offensively. Maybe better energy galvanizes the entire team, gets the defense, gets the special teams, gets the entire organization headed in the right direction. And that's kind of what we're feeling right now. And I think that's what you're kind of noticing when you listen to Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin. In those Arthur Smith remarks you mentioned, he said something that I really think is important. He said, there's a lot of things that he can play to his strengths, and that is exciting, right? Talking about running the offense for Justin Fields' strengths and what he can bring to the fold. Here's what Mike Tomlin said with an interview talking about Fields. He said, I don't want to squash his natural instincts, right? When he was with the Bears, there was all this conversation with the Bears coaching staff and the media that they were trying to do everything to change who Justin Fields was. Let's correct this, tweak this, change that, do whatever. What you're seeing from the Steelers is we don't want to change who he is necessarily. We want to play to his strengths. And that could be a huge impact, right? Because if you look at a kind of relatively similar example, look at the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson. They created an offense that was designed to play to his strengths. And they obviously have won a lot of football games. Jackson's won 2 MVPs. So you look at Justin Fields, I think athletically, skill set wise, he's certainly in the same class as Jackson. So if the Steelers could create an offense and a structure around him that plays to his strengths, like we're hearing from Arthur Smith, like we're hearing from Mike Tomlin, I mean, this thing could really work. I was kind of skeptical of Justin Fields to begin with, to be totally honest. But seeing what he's doing in camp, seeing what the coaching staff is saying, and now seeing what a guy like Ryan Clark is saying, who, look, whatever you think of ESPN, Clark's been one of the smarter voices there for a very long time. And the fact that Bill Belichick himself wants to do a media show working with Ryan Clark's crew this season, Bill Belichick doesn't work with dumb people. Bill Belichick wants to work with smart people. So Ryan Clark has always proven himself, in my opinion, to be a smart guy, and Belichick wanting to work with him is proof of that. So I would listen to Ryan Clark here. I think he's very plugged in. I think he's an intelligent person, and I think he's right on the money. I'm starting to come around to Justin Fields with the Steelers. I think he probably is the starter. I think it probably galvanizes this team, and they surprise a lot of people this year.